What's up, collective fam? It's your boy Tony the Toyrat, back with another rigorous wrestling review for new PVC previews to previewed, and yeah, this one's a new one, at least new to me, and it's never been opened before. It's in the box. It is the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Gallery Avengers Infinity War Hulkbuster MK2 Deluxe, and I've been waiting. It will be the only thing that sits on my Hulk shelf that isn't specifically a Hulk. Because, well, Hulkbuster. So, with no further ado, let's crack her open. Alright, collector fam. We have our handy dandy scalpel tool, and I've missed her. It feels like it's been a while since I've had to open something that requires my scalpel tool. So, I'm glad she's being needed today. Now, this box, I was at a recent local Comic-Con event called the Fayetteville Fan Fest, and I was able to pick up this unit here. Now, you can find it on places like Mercari and places like that, but I'm more of a I want my stuff today kind of guy. Instant gratification. Welcome to 2025. So I really wanted to have this thing. So when I saw it marked down from $75, still in the box, 75 bucks, down to 50 bucks, I thought that's my time to strike. Now, for those of you who don't already know, when you go to the Comic Cons, we're going to take this big sucker out. When you go to the Comic Cons, if you're there for a multiple day pass, you're going to want to wait, he's heavy, you're going to want to wait until the end of the Comic Con, the last day. That's when all the vendors really do not want to bring their stuff home, and they're willing to make better deals. So this was $75 at first. They marked it down to $50, and I left with it at 40 bucks. Awesome. Now, back in the day when Diamond Select Toys was actually using these things, I would have told you to fill it out, but these days, not so much. So, what you're going to see inside here for you those who are box collectors and keepers, there's a giant Avengers 8 on the inside here. Of course, the back looks like that. You guys have seen it. It's just a snapshot and overall synopsis of the Hulkbuster. But you guys know that we're more about saving the Earth than we are about keeping boxes, at least not for the PVC kind. So, recycle! That was loud. I like making it loud that time. Okay. I'm excited to get this open. Okay, a couple of pieces of tape, and we are going. All right, you know what this is? This is nothing but more recyclable plastic. And what do we do with recyclable plastic if not recycle it? Be careful of the lights you might hit while you're throwing away your recyclables. Good tip. All right, guys, hold on a second. I get my first looks. Wow. I like it a lot. I got some things to say about the base already, but I will hold my comments. This is what you guys came to see. That is Veronica. There's your Hulkbuster, baby. Check her out in all of her glory. And she is quite weighted, quite heavy. But we're going to sit her down right here and give you a full body spin, and then we'll have a full conversation about whether or not you should spend the coinage to put it in your Hulk or Iron Man collection. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Full body spin time, baby. All right, collective fam, we have returned, and we're getting ready to check out the MK2 Hulkbuster from Avengers Infinity War. It's one of those, for me anyway, prize pieces. I wasn't able to get it when it was on the line. I've seen a few of them on the secondary market, Mercari, I think a couple of them. Some of them are suspect. I like to tangibly get a hold of the things that I'm looking to make purchases for. So, as I stated earlier, this is probably going to be the only non-Hulk item on my very large Hulk shelf because of the Hulkbuster. So it crosses that bridge between Iron Man and Hulk. Now, let's get right to talking about it, and I'm eager to do so. What do we always start with, everybody? It is the portrait. The portrait and the portrait. We do it every single time. Now, I don't think we need to take a lot of time doing that. It's 3 cheeses all day long. It looks like the Hulkbuster. And if you haven't figured that out, then you didn't watch the movies or you haven't seen the comics, and you don't deserve to have this conversation with me. Move on. Next. So we're gonna give him 3 cheeses on that, and then we normally go into costuming. Well, Iron Man only wears the Iron Man costume, and we're here to talk about the MK2 Avengers, the Infinity Wars get up, also known as Veronica. So that is to me exactly what this guy looks like. I can't mistake it for anything else. So on costuming, you get 3 cheeses. Next, we go into dynamic pose. Whether this pose is dynamic or not. He's not doing a whole hell of a lot, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So I think some opportunities are missed there, but I understand that weighting this thing is heavy. I mean, I want to say he's every bit of 5+ pounds in there. He might be more than that. I really do have to get a scale to give you guys an honest look at these things. But reality is, he is very heavy. So I think anything they would have done with the projection forward type of motion might have required additional elements down here to support that weight. And then ultimately it would have been cost prohibitive. That's my guess. I don't know. And I can't ask the friends at Diamond Select because they're not here anymore. And I am sad about that. True enough. Okay, so in terms of dynamic pose, I'm going to give them a 1. This to me is a museum quality pose. He's just standing sort of heroically. There isn't much of a story to be told here. Now, some statues we know are for the purposes of simply displaying a character, while others are sort of maquette driven and they can tell an entire story, a la dioramas, which this is supposed to be. At least this is how it is billed out as a diorama. So, looking at the diorama portion of this, they get 1 and below for the cheeses on this one here. And I'm saying that because I'm going to show you guys. I mean, look at this really cool looking statue, at least at first glance. And we are going to go a little further into that. And this base just seems to me to be for shit. This base is just sort of an afterthought. We need a place to put legs. I mean, even the thin space in between here, this thin space right in here, and then the way they chose to do whatever sparse grass is coming up through this, I guess we can say it's a desert sand format here. Not very inventive, not very cool, not very storytelling. So on that, if I can give them sub cheese, I would. But I would give them just a 1 cheeser on the diorama portion of that. So overall, I like what I got. Okay, I think I got a fair price for it. I think if I would have paid any more than $40 for it, I probably would have choked myself. I mean, I was excited for it, guys. Seriously, I put on my Iron Man shirt. I'm ready to rock, But I will say that in this particular statue, I kind of wanted more. I kind of expected more. Because he's a big, bulky character, you get the notion that he's going to have larger pieces to the armaments, whereas the Iron Man suit itself is rather intricate because of all the different pieces and components that it comprises. While this has that same sort of nuanced detail, I feel like maybe some of it is just, I don't know, I expect more detail. There are some spaces in here where it gets really detailed in here where, I guess the other, I want to say that's our power source back here, but we've got it in the front. So, I don't know. If that's the arc reactor in the front, then I'm not sure what this is in the back. But it looks like he's almost powered by 2 arc reactors here. Is this triangle one that sits in the back here. And then there's this circular one, which is the one we would see as more traditional for Iron Man in the front. I mean, the colors are fantastic. I think they did a great job with coloration in here. I don't have any problems with how they laid out the paint jobs. I like the helmet. The helmet is actually pretty cool. I mean, overall, this is a very, very cool statue, and I'm being ultra nitpicky, especially at the $40 price. I hate the base. I don't know if anyone was going to really love the base. I'm going to be quite honest with you. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities about it. So, there's that. And then beyond that, I would have hoped that we took the opportunity to do something a little bit more dramatic for the piece, something that made it stand out more. It's going to stand out great where I've got it because, it's not a Hulk. And it's, like fire engine red, so it's going to stand out. But that being said, I had some hope. I held out some hope that we would get a little bit more detail. I know, I saw the package. What was I expecting, right? You're right. And I've seen it online a bunch of times also. I guess, I don't know what. Seeing it up close, I thought I was going to get more, like, giddy about it. It's really cool. It's super cool. Now, she's sitting, Veronica, 10 inches high before the base. I pulled out the ruler and I snapped it from top to the top of the head here. And then the base adds approximately, just about an inch into that. So you got 11 on head height here. Now on the side pieces, you have, whatever the heck that says. I'm going to go as far out as I can on this one here. So it looks like we got 11 inches width-wise if you look at the width of the arms all the way out on both sides. And again, if you're looking at top to bottom here, we are talking about 11 inches. So it's exactly right, 11 inches. And that will give you clearance. All right, and then weight-wise, again, it's actually weighted really well. He's not going to wiggle or wobble in any kind of way unless the surface you put him on wiggles or wobbles for some reason. I'm going to be putting him on the end of the shelf, so I don't expect there's going to be a problem for me. I really do like the piece. I do. I have some, you could have done these things better, but ultimately I think looking at it for what it is, it's pretty fantastic to own for $40. A statue like this that you can put in with the Iron Man, or you can put in with the rest of the Hulks, which I said I'm going to do, and that's pretty much it, man. So for $40, I would say absolutely. At $50, I start to wag my finger just slightly. Anything over $55, and I'm going, I think you should wait for it to go on sale. Okay, that's just me personally, but you understand, you got to find these things on the secondary market now, because Diamond Select Toys doesn't have a direct location where you can pick them up from, as far now that I know of. Somebody help me out if I'm wrong. Anyway, this is Tony the Toy Rat for the Iron Man MK2 Avengers Veronica Iron Man suit from Diamond Select Toys. That was a lot to say. For myself, for the viewing public, I am out. Go get you one.